Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy. I went to see Django Unchained on Wednesday, and for what it's worth, it's everything that the critics said it was. Jamie Foxx gave an excellent performance of a man who's like beaten down by the system, who's taught to hide his intelligence, and when it's time for him to show his rage, he really puts everything out there on the screen. And at the same time, Leonardo DiCaprio rips the head off of the notion of a charismatic Southern gentleman who's a part-time slave trader. This movie, if I could describe it, it's like the worst horror movie you'll ever see, mixed with Rocky Balboa elements. And I thought it was going to fail. I was willing to put money on it that America wouldn't want to be lectured about slavery, and I was wrong. It took about $100 million to produce, and since it's already made that, it's a profitable endeavor. I guess I'm not always right. I was basing my opinions on Amistad and Red Tails. Amistad was backed by Steven Spielberg, and Red Tails was not only written by Anthony Hemingway, who wrote Ali and The Manchurian Candidate, but it was also script written by John Ridley, who wrote Three Kings, with script consultant from Aaron Magruder of Boondocks fame. The cast was ridiculous. George Lucas produced it, and Industrial Light and Magic did the special effects. This was white Hollywood giving 110% to a black project, and it made $49 million, I think around $48 or $49 million, which is ridiculous. All right, of course there was that controversy of there's not enough black women in there, but what you gonna do? It's Italy. I bring up Django for this. I've been talking to a lot of young women on YouTube, and I could only describe that they're suffering from some kind of slave shame. And I don't know why. None of them lived through slavery. I mean, you could see that slavery actually had a generational impact on the black culture, but we make it a point to internalize it. Like, I use this analogy a lot. A black man who is in his house, on a slave master's property, hears a knock on the door, and it's the slave master who wants to have sex with his wife. And that black man is forced to give his wife over to rape. And as she's being raped, she does not care about how smart he is. She does not care about how well he recites Shakespeare. She doesn't care about how well he knows the periodic table. She's seeing him as weak. And that little melodrama has followed us for a long time, to the point that I don't see black women respecting anything but power. You can see it in the eyes of young ladies who go after thug culture, because the thug culture is not well, it's the only strength of character that they're introduced to. Young boys that aren't afraid to step outside of themselves, to speak up, to assert their dominance, while a more astute young man who's a learner, who's quiet, who's sedate, who's sit backs and he writes, who's introverted, can't compete with the exterior image of a young boy who demands to be recognized. Black culture respects power over intellectualism, and the worst manifestation of that that I could see is the fact that a dyslexic drug dealer could probably father 10 kids, while a young black male who's the manager at a McDonald's or who's a security guard at the shelters is probably taking care of one of those thug children. There's a schism in our community, all right? There's a schism. It's, can black women forgive black men for some shit that happened in 1865? And I'm not saying just say to forgive, but will black women ever allow a man to be weaker? Will a black woman ever allow a man to be frail or cry or anything like that? I don't think so. We always have to be the strong ones. That's what you look for. You look for power. And as I've said before, power is the ability to make someone do something despite their own will. Whether you have to use physical violence, logistical, legal actions, or anything, or even financial. Sisters love powerful men. That's why the bad boy will always be getting more attention than the goody-goody, because a woman is attracted to that power. She wants what he has. I could only say this. The worse it gets, the more that black men associate women with failure, that they're not strong enough for them, they will go somewhere else. Like, the fact that some black men are more practical and pragmatic and stay safe and they live longer, they see that black women want men who are willing to die for them. Well, ultimately, those same men who are conformists, who are intellectual, who are rational, say, you know what, I need someone who's going to follow, who's going to reward me for the things that I do. And we look at white women in that sense, or anyone from another race. How bad is it that you could look at a white woman as an affirmation of I want to live, and a black woman of I failed. I failed in 1865. I failed to protect her in the streets. I can't protect her. Well, that's just an internal dialogue I see in our community. It's like it's a schism. I don't know if we're ever going to let go of that. All I can do is keep talking positively about black men who do the 9-to-5 thing, who do stay positive, because we need to talk shit. We need to talk shit. We need to tell the world that we do what we do and we're proud of what we do, because we can't just let the thugs, own the whole show, all right? Even if you're doing it by yourself. To every black man who's actually just trying to live, God bless. It's your boy Sticky. Peace.